On today's edition of 2 Minute Tuesday, we ask the question, did the Bible really say that? Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. On today's episode of 2 Minute Tuesday, we are starting a new series called Did the Bible Really Say That? Because in conversation that I have with people, often we come across passages, verses, sections of the Bible that say something that, like I said in my sermon on Sunday, you really just wish weren't included in the Bible. Like, everybody has those verses where you look at them and you read them and you just go like, what? Why are they there? They're difficult to understand. They're even harder to apply. They sound a little crazy. They make you ask questions. And so we're going to go after some of those passages. So over the next little while, I don't know how long this series is going to take. We're going to bounce in and out of it. We're going to look at some of the verses that I think make us just kind of raise an eyebrow and pause, ask some questions. So today, we're going to jump into Matthew 5. Okay, so in Matthew chapter 5, verse 29, this is what it says. So if your eye, even your good eye, causes you to lust, gouge it out and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your hand, even your stronger hand, causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And to that we say, really? I don't know anybody who has gouged out an eye or who has cut off a hand. So what was Jesus talking about when he said these words? What was Matthew thinking when he recorded them in the Sermon on the Mount? Well, first off, most people, and I mean really like most people, will agree that Jesus is using something here called hyperbole. Hyperbole is used, and over-exaggeration is used to make a very important point. And Jesus's point here is that it would be better to lose an eye or to lose an arm than to suffer the consequences of sin. And the truth that you and I are confronted by this passage is that sin in our lives is a serious deal. It's serious business. It matters. And so Jesus is saying, listen, it's just the way it is. It might be better for you to lose a hand if that hand is causing you to sin over and over and over again than for you to suffer the consequences of sin. So before anybody goes and cuts off an arm or a hand or plucks out an eye, like seriously, don't do that. Like that's not the point of this video. What I really quickly want to address is the idea of cutting stuff out of your life for the purpose of avoiding sin and temptation. The reality is that there, for each one of us, is something that is going to cause us to sin or tempt us to do things that run counter to the will of God in my life and your life. And so if, when you are super stressed, you're tempted to drink, don't keep alcohol in the house. It's a very strange passage with actually really practical implications and applications for your life and for my life, and that is simply take some time to think about when you're stressed, when things aren't going your way, when you're trying to cope with something, when you're exceptionally sad. What are the things that you tip toward that are unhealthy? What are the actions? What are the vices? What are the ways of being and behaviors that you tip toward that are unhealthy for you and that would actually lead you away from a growing relationship with Jesus? Chances are there's something there in that category of things that you need to cut out of your life. And so your challenge this week in a very practical way is cut something out of your life for the sake of following Jesus. Because here's the truth of the matter. You and I, we can't change our hearts. Like you and I, we can't become the person that God has created us to be. The Bible says that only God is able to do that in you and in me. And in a sense, that's the hope of the gospel, is that you stop trying. Stop trying like you can't actually do this. Jesus needs to do this for you. And to that, Jesus says, but you can also put yourself in a position for God to do that in your life. And so the challenge is cut something out of your life for the sake of putting yourself in a position to be healed by God, to be met by God, to be encouraged by God this week. If you want, if you're brave enough, write what you're going to cut out in the comments below. I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel and hit that little notification bell so that every Tuesday when we release a video here, you receive that 2-Minute Tuesday tips and tricks for making your faith super practical and hopefully super relevant. That's it for today. I hope to see you next week for a brand new edition of 2-Minute Tuesday.